Welcome back to the TwinSpires Jury. I'm Ashley Anderson here with Darin Zoccali and Blaise Bollman here live on the jury right next to me for a special edition. James Scully is out this week. We're going to be talking our best bets and fades at Fairgrounds, Oaklawn, Aqueduct, and Turfway Park. And Blaise, if you don't know him, he is our head of brand marketing. You've come a long way since your days at Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, thanks.
Assistant manager, or you're a model.
The style hasn't changed, though.
Yeah. You know, I'm just glad I still got my job after last week. So thanks for having us here, and good to see Darin too on the other side.
I never worked for Abercrombie and Fitch.
No, but we used to work somewhere together. Anyway,
we did.
Moving on.
All right, well, Blaise, since you're our guest, I'll let you start things off. If you're ready, tell us your best bet of the week. Where are you going to play that?
My best bet, Ashley, it comes up in good old Hot Springs, Arkansas, Oaklawn Park. I'm going Saturday all the way till the end of the nightcap. That's right, till about 5:50, almost 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. A allowance event, 1 mile, $140,000, non-winners of one. Pretty big field on tap here. Something that stuck out to me right away was a horse I think we all know from last year's Derby, and that's King Russell. That's right, King Russell, who drew in at the last second for trainer Ron Moquette, who is home base is in Hot Springs, Arkansas, at Oaklawn Park. And I am kind of going here. This horse is coming off a long layoff. Last time out was Ellis Park, and the Mount Win didn't do well at all. Basically was outrun the entire thing. No need to show a replay. But this horse is coming on one of my favorite angles, Ashley, and that's the ultimate equipment change, and that's going to be first time gelding. So this horse, I feel, is going to be more focused, a little bit more mature, and it's going to have his eyes on the prize, and that's the finish line in this $140,000 mile event at Oaklawn Park. In this race as well, a couple other Ellis Park successful runners. Can't Hush This. Everyone remembers Jimmy McNerney's call on that. That was really nice. But this horse currently sitting at 4-1. He's third choice on the board, and I'm definitely making him my best bet. And I really hope that 4-1 price are greater. And here's another thing: this horse, horse for course, he's never been out of the money. He's been, I believe, he's won once and 3 seconds. He was second in the Arkansas Derby, which got him to the Kentucky Derby, also eligibles. So again, it's going to be King Russell to the bank.
All right. I hear you loud and clear there.
Thank you.
Ultimate equipment change.
Snip, snip. We'll do the trick.
All right. Darin, do you have any comments on that?
Words to live by. Snip, snip. We'll do the trick. Yeah, I'm going to head to the Fairgrounds for my best bet. Maiden special weight event. Horse making his second lifetime start. I think this is a really good spot for number 4, Den's Good Grace. It's in race number 7 on Saturday at the Fairgrounds. Debuted going 6 furlongs in a sprint, breaking from the inside, was off about a length and a half slow. And that day, Mitchell Murrow was not in any hurry whatsoever to ask him to keep up. You could see that his job was just to get a race under the horse's belt. Was never going to be a dirt sprinter by pedigree either, by Good Samaritan. Now the horse gets to stretch out around 2 turns, moving to the turf course, which obviously Good Samaritan did excel at in his career. He's 13% producer on the turf. The horse is akin to a turf runner, a turf winner, I should say. The Dam was a stakes winner, 3 winners from 5 starters, including 2 stakes winners that she's produced. So the pedigree is certainly there. This horse is also a gelding. Granted, it happened before his last start, I believe. So no snip, snip will do the trick here, Blaise. But I do think the stretch out around 2 turns will do the trick for Den's Good Grace at 8-1. I think we're going to see a much better effort, going to be more engaged early on. And I think this is the spot that they've been aiming for since the debut. So we're going to take the price here in race number 7 at the Fairgrounds.
Now, Darin, do you have any concern when you see a low percentage win rate for the trainer, or first time on grass, lower percentage? Do you have any concern there?
I don't, when they still have a positive ROI, because that means that they show up in spots like this with horses that go off at a price. So even though he's only 9% first time on grass, 10% first time around 2 turns, you take a look at the ROIs and they're both positives, which means that he gets overlooked in spots like this. And sometimes his horses do perform better than people expect. And at 8-1, this certainly looks like a horse that might fit that mold.
Yeah, you make a good point there.
How many's in that field, Darin, by the way, at that 8-1 price? Morning line?
We got 10 with some also eligible signed on. Yeah.
Excellent. And our weather forecast for Fairgrounds, Doppler, Darin, have we?
Fairgrounds is okay on Saturday. It looks like
cool.
Maybe a chance of a little shower, but nothing like the cold we're going to see in other places.
Right. Speaking of the cold, I'm going to Turfway Park, and I think we might see some snow this weekend. But if they do race on Saturday, I'm going with number 3 Peruvian Lucky at 10-1. Last week I hit my best bet with Ovray at 7-2, but she was bet down to 4-5. So I'm
She
hoping
paid 380, and you got your fade. I remember I saw Orchid. So
Thank
good
you,
job.
Blaise.
Good job.
I'm hoping with 10-1 on the morning line, you might get a little bit better price at post time with Peruvian Lucky. And here's why I like this horse. This week, it's a long shot, so I'm giving you a better price. Like I said, in a 30K claimer at Turfway. It's a looking at Lucky 5-year-old, raced on turf in his last 4, switching back to all weather, and one last time he raced on all weather when breaking his maiden at 6.5 furlongs, getting Luan Machado, said it correctly, regaining the mount here. And trainer Nacho Correas is also winning at a 25% clip this meet. Peruvian Lucky's dropping in class, posted a sharp 4 furlong workout, and he drew post 3. Post 1 to 3 are winning at a high rate at Turfway right now, and closers are also winning at a higher rate in the past week. And Peruvian Lucky is the lone closer in this field. I think he'll have some speed to run into here. His prime power number is just 6 points shy of the morning line favorite, so I'm going to take a shot with that price at Turfway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a horse has never run a bad race over the Turfway surface. I think the connections, maybe we're not getting the results that they hoped for over the turf at Colonial in Indianapolis. And then you could see, starting at the end of November, they sent the horse to Keeneland, and this horse has been training exclusively over the synthetic track at Keeneland. I think this is probably a spot that they've been aiming for. So I think this is a smart play.
Hopefully, it won't get bet down to 4-5. Probably.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, you're getting the Axeman, though, one of the hottest jocks there, and you got Ignacio hitting at a good price. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. You'll get more than 380. I'll bet on that.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Yes.
All right.
All right, well, let's move over to our fades of the week. Darin, who are you going to fade at a short price?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Turfway Park theme going on here, and it's just a regular claiming race, and not one is a 3-life claimer. But when you find favorites you don't like, you got to take a stand against them. Race 3, number 4, Princess of the North. She's gonna take a lot of money shipping down from Woodbine. These Woodbine horses are always overbet because they show good form over a similar Tapeta surface, and everyone just assumes that they're going to come down to Turfway and the form is going to translate. But you'd be surprised that the Woodbine shippers, they do win races, but not at the rate that you would expect. And furthermore, trainer Mark Cassie is only 1 for his last 27 with horses that he has shipped from Woodbine to Turfway Park. They always take money. I think in this field, this horse could be as low as 6-5, 7-5. And I think you can do a lot better with a horse like Motai or even Autism Community, who I'm a little bit high on in this spot as well at a price. So for me, with the angles at play at a short price, we're going to fade Princess of the North out of the early pick 4 and out of the early pick 5, guys.
I like the Woodbine angle.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the Brasileiro jockey, Luan Machado. So I don't know. He could get our guy Cassie. I don't know. All right, Darin.
What about
Got to
you?
be bold on these fades, man. Can't take a
and
lot.
you are being bold, taking a claiming race, the 3rd at Turfway on a Saturday. So
You like what you like, man.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
They don't know what
yeah.
they're running for. I don't care what they're running for. Cash and tickets all the same.
Hey, no, for sure. I'm sorry, I'm being a hater. All right, I'm going to be a homer, being a CDI employee. I'm going to go to a Kentucky Oaks points race. It's a 20-point race here in January, coming up from Jamaica, Queens, New York, over by you there, Darin, at good old Aqueduct. It's the Busanda. The Busanda Stakes has not produced a winner since 2013 in the Kentucky Oaks, and that was Princess of Silmar. By the way, I had that horse in my double and for wins. That paid $38. So my biggest score. I'll always remember Princess of Silmar as well as the Busanda. So familiar with this trail. This field, I'm not going to, I can just quickly go over all 5 horses. We from inside out, we got Jin Jin at 5-2 for Brad Cox. This horse, this filly coming out of the Goldenrod. I don't see this horse running again. This race is a 1 1/8, not a 1 1/16. They don't run a 1 1/16 in the New York circuit. Am I right, Darin? You guys only run
Not at Aqueduct. They don't know.
Yeah, so 1 1/8. This horse I don't feel can go the route of ground. I think she's going to be more of a sprinter. My fade I'm going to go with is Shimmering Allure. She's 4-5, Kenny McPeak. She has the most experience in the field. She's coming out of the Damoiselle. She's not facing a Life Talk, who won the Damoiselle that day, but I'll go again. Here we go, number 3. We got Most of All, 9-2 for Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott. I saw this, came out of the same race as the Damoiselle, just was one paced and, was kind of empty coming towards home, or basically the final turn.
You don't like 3 of the first 5 horses, Blaise. So who do we like?
So
I know you're fading the favorite.
yeah, well, who I like in this, and I don't know if I'm going to get 6-1 as Class Act. And this is Todd Pletcher, Kendrick Carmouche. We saw what Kendrick could do with Crimson Light. Todd Pletcher debut over the weekend, who just had a horrible start. But I'm definitely going with the Rapoli. I don't think we're going to get 6-1, but this is I'm going to go your winner, stepping up in class, lightly raced, and I really have all my faith in another Hall of Fame trainer, Todd Pletcher. So I might go win Class Act and then do an exacta with Class Act and the outside horse who also ships in from Woodbine, and that's Princess Mayfair. So again, my fade, Shimmering Allure. Check them out. Check them out.
I think this is a bolder fade than I took, because I think I'm going to be surprised if Shimmering Allure loses this race. I really.
All right, gentleman's bet. All right,
gentleman's bet.
All right,
gentleman's bet.
Yeah, looking at the Brisnet speed figures, with an 89 last out, a little bit higher than the other speed figures in the field, but I do see what you're saying, because only two.
I mean, she ran well. She ran well in the Alcibiades. She's a stakes winner. She was second to a horse that ran a big race in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and the Demoiselle, and Class Act is coming off of a slow-paced wire-to-wire win in a 4-horse field.
4-horse field, right? And
good luck, sir.
No, all right. No, I'll take 8. That's what we're here for. All right.
I will give it to you, though. Her 2 career wins, only at a mile, hasn't proven beyond a mile. So I do like that angle.
What that was just like a workout. That was a paid work, Darin. The last race.
It was. Listen,
3 horses.
I would love to have a horse get a paid workout for $85,000.
And Rapoli is the man at that. By the way, thank you for your Brisnet little speed rating tidbit there. I will admit I'm not sticking to my betting resolutions. I'm using DRF formulator PPs, but
what are you doing promoting other people?
I'm just saying I need to do better and use your Bris, so I will probably lose.
All right,
over to you.
Well, let's see. I might have some stats I can throw at you from Brisnet. In my fade, I'm going to be fading a Brad Cox runner. Number 8, Flashy Gem at 5-2 in the Likely Exchange Stakes at Turfway Park, racing a mile on all weather for 4-year-olds and up. And
now, Blaise, pay attention. This is a good fade.
Thank you. Now, Brad Cox obviously is going to bring in a lot of money wherever he's racing. And this is a Bolt d'Oro 4-year-old who just won by more than 7 lengths, big romper at Turfway on December 23rd when racing a mile, moving back up in class. But Flashy Jim is 0 for 5 when racing in stakes races. And I think there are a lot of other really strong runners in this field, including Katish. I feel like you or James, I think Darin or James talked about Katish recently. I want to say maybe in the roundtable. So sorry, wrong show, Darin. But I also like Silver Ticket, and I even like a long shot Ghostly Gal in this field. Flashy Gem is 2 for 3 at Turfway Park, but her lone loss came from an outside post. Outside posts are winning at a pretty low percentage at Turfway. So I see a lot of reasons to fade this horse facing some really tough competition in a pretty deep field here.
Okay. All right.
I love this fade. Because this horse is going to take a lot of money. I'm not saying she can't win, but this is a very talented group. There's probably 4 or 5 in here that could win. So no, I like this fade a lot. She's going to be probably 8-5, 9-5 at post time too.
Yeah, I'm leaning, I think Katish at 4-1, 92 Brisnet speed figure last out. But I also like Silver Ticket at 9-2 for Todd Pletcher, 2 for 2 on all weather, won by more than 3 lengths and an allowance optional claimer. So yeah, some tough competition there.
All right. Post position stats, you're a big fan? I'd only use those in greyhounds, but yeah. Okay. All right.
Or maybe give it a try.
All right.
In thoroughbreds.
Cool.
Well, Darin, before we move on to what else is going on this weekend, what promos are TwinSpires?
What's going on, D?
Yeah, we got the Bayou Bluegrass points multiplier still kicking for Fairgrounds and Turfway Park. Every race that they run, every day that they run, 10 times wager rewards on the Fairgrounds and Turfway Park. The Bayou Bluegrass 10x points multiplier. So be sure to opt in and play. The winter money back is back. The weather may be cooling off, but the promos certainly don't. And we're going to give you up to $10 back for your horse running second and third in selected races. We've got races selected this weekend coming up at Turfway Park, at Oaklawn. And there's a special day added with the Fairgrounds card on Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day. We're going to add a couple of races on Monday as well. So be sure to be opted in. Take advantage of a couple of extra races in the winter money back offer. And then once you do that, might as well stick around for Trifecta Tuesday. 15% boost on your Trifecta winnings every Tuesday. That's every track we offer. Thoroughbred, standard bred, does not matter. You play trifectas, you're opted in, you're going to get a 15% boost on those trifecta winnings. So be sure to be opted into some of those great offers. We got a lot more coming in the latter weeks of the month, as we have some big races coming up with the Lecomte Stakes and, of course, the Pegasus World Cup. So this promo page is going to fill up before the next time we talk, guys.
Sounds good. And Blaise, tell us what you're going to be looking out for this weekend.
Oh, what I'm looking out for. It's going to be Tampa Bay. We got a weather report there, Ashley?
Darin,
Doppler, what do we?
Chance of showers, but not terrible.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. This race I chose is on the main track, so I'm happy there. And I didn't look at the wet pedigree. Okay, that doesn't matter. But anyways, I'm looking at the Pasco Stakes. So basically, this is a pseudo prep race, we'll say, leading into Tampa Bay's road to the Derby. Darin, would you agree? Pasco?
It's a prep for a prep for a prep.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, it's 7 furlongs. It's race 9 on Saturday for 3-year-olds out there in Oldsmar, Florida, $125,000 purse. Again, this is going to be at about 4:30 our time here on the East Coast. So I'm looking at, we got West Saratoga right off coming from the inside. This is a horse who just did amazing at Churchill Downs, winning the Grade 3 Iroquois. Larry Dimitri then took this, what was a 2-year-old at the time, to the Breeders' Futurity, did not excel there at Keeneland, had to face horses like Wine Stewart and Locked. But definitely someone I'm looking for out here is the number 3. This horse is at 3-2, Bookham Dano. This is for trainer Derek Ryan. Bookham Dano is kind of reminding me of a horse from back in the day. Darin, you might remember, it was Mike Trombetta barn. It started off before it went to McCarthy's. And this is Independence Hall kind of vibe. Bookham Dano has just been unstoppable, in my opinion. Didn't win his last race out in the Nashua. Lost to Where's Chris and was basically just outfinished in the stretch, but was on the lead the whole time. But I see definitely a New York to Tampa angle here, similar track surface, and I'm looking for some good things for Bookham Dano here on this road to the Tampa Bay Derby.
Yeah, Independence Hall, if I remember correctly, won the Nashua, I think.
Nashua.
Yeah.
Yep. And
But then he was an overwhelming favorite in the Sam F. Davis and lost.
Yes. Gotcha. Again, just look out for him in this race. Okay. Yes.
So if you are looking for horses that have run on an off track, in the event of rain and a sloppy track, we only have 2 in the field. We have Crazy Mason, who finished 3rd the one time running on a muddy track at a mile, and needed more room, I think, to finish there. But the one that I think you should look out for is number 7, Rathmore, who won. Oh, you knew it.
No, I could tell where you're going. Okay, go on.
Won at 6 furlongs, wired the field on a sloppy track. So potentially here, if there's rain, has only raced at Aqueduct though.
All right. Yeah, you got Gallardo, the Mad Spaniard. He's legit. All right. I got it, guys. Okay. Again, hopefully, James, you're back next week. I don't have to fill in. Yeah.
I think too, wasn't there something about an interesting race with not thoroughbreds, but
Zonkies, yeah. You want to get into that? Yeah. So on Saturday, there's going to be thank you. That was random. There's going to be the exotic animal racing out at Fairgrounds. So please note, TwinSpires account holders with Fairgrounds, you got about an hour between post times and 3 races. Might allow you to dabble over in at Tampa or at some of our other tracks that we offer at TwinSpires.com. But yes, we will have Zonkies, which is a donkey painted as a zebra, which I have a lot of experience with in Tijuana. Won't go into those stories, but very popular in Tijuana, the Zonkies. It's actually their basketball team. Their mascot is the Zonky. So
I thought a Zonky actually was a real animal, not painted, but
no,
actually real.
It's a donkey painted as a zebra, hence Zonky.
Well,
and they'll have camel racing and some other stuff. So look out for some fun calls from John Dooley, and I'm sure we'll tweet it out. Abby will do that for us on social.
All right. Darin, can you top that?
Not even going to try. Just going to talk horse racing because don't know what's happening at this point. Yeah, no, there's a couple of 3-year-olds that I wanted to just mention at Gulfstream Park on a Saturday. One on the dirt trail, the other on turf. Race number 6, a maiden special weight, has Bourbon Society in it, who was actually a pretty good second after having a little bit of an inside trouble trip in the debut behind Change of Command, who's a Shug McGahee horse who stretched out and won in an allowance optional claimer in his subsequent try, and could certainly be on the road to a race like the Fountain of Youth. So the fact that this horse ran a good second to that horse that day, I thought was interesting, is getting the benefit of Lasix, and is a 3-year-old that I think is worth watching moving on throughout the campaign, the season, I should say. And then from there, race number 8, it's an entry-level allowance event. This one is on the turf at a mile and a 16th. And it marks the return of Khatib, which is a horse that we got familiar with at Turfway Park. This was a dominant wire-to-wire winner for Brendan Walsh that day. Son of More Than Ready, won by over half a dozen lengths and is now stretching out on turf, and could certainly be a horse that we're going to see in the future in some marquee turf events for the 3-year-olds. So just putting the spotlight on a couple of 3-year-olds with upside Saturday at Gulfstream Park.
Looks good. I like the racing on Lasix the first time too, as well.
All right.
And by the
Good.
way, Bourbon Society also first time Lasix. Yeah, and he's gelded too, Blaise. So there you go.
Ultimate equipment change. And finally, I'm going to take it over to Santa Anita
All
for
right.
the
The Great Race
Cal Cup
Place.
Day.
All right.
And we have 5 stakes on the card, including the Cal Cup Derby,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be headlined by number 1 Last Call London for Peter Miller. You're going to see 4 of the 5 runners. All were racing in the King Glorious, and Last Call London won that race. Probably the one to beat here, I would say. Looks like a pretty good, strong contender here. But the horse I wanted to highlight was the Chosen Brawn, one of the top sprinters in the country, will be racing in the Cal Cup Sprint. Now, this is a Vronsky gelding that is kicking off his 6-year-old season. Last year went 6 for 7, finished 5th in the Breeders' Cup Sprint to Elite Power after he was on an 8-win streak before that loss. Then came back, won at Del Mar, and now he's going to be racing at Santa Anita, where he's 7 for 9, a horse for the course. So definitely be on the lookout for the Chosen Brawn. I will say he's the top runner on the card at Santa Anita on Saturday.
Literally an ATM machine for those connections. I mean, just a great purchase, great horse, great story. 6 years old. Yeah, it's good for the game.
All right. Well, any closing words on the jury?
No, nothing. Thanks for having me, James. I hope you come back next week. Yeah.
He's got some big shoes to fill after this Zoncali performance. So.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have today for the jury. Head to TwinSpires.com or the app to check out all of those promos that Darin mentioned earlier. And we'll be back next week with more best bets and fades with Darin and this time James. But we might let you fill in another time, Blaise.
Yeah.
So thank you. We'll see you next time.